Hello, and welcome to Sense International's Changemakers, a series where we meet the experts in disability inclusion, working with Sense International to advocate for change and ensure people with deaf blindness and complex disabilities across the world have the right to live, learn, and thrive. I'm your host, Adam O'Reilly, and I'll be talking to leaders from Sense International's global teams about their work with local communities to build disability inclusion into healthcare, education, and employment systems, building a world where every person with deaf blindness can be included. For this first episode of Sense International's Changemakers, I had a conversation with Sanu Khimbaja and Lakpa Sherpa. Sanu is the Programme Manager for Sense International's lead partner organisation in Nepal, the National Federation of the Deaf. Lakpa Sherpa is the President of the Society of Deafblind Parents. Lakpa's son Shine is supported by the Federation. We talked about their organisation's missions, their personal experiences of working in disability inclusion, and their standout moments from the past 5 years. I began by asking Sanu about his history and context of working with people with disabilities.
Okay, so Sanu, so you work for the National Federation of Deaf People, and what I'm interested in is how long has the NDFN been operating?
So thank you very much for this opportunity to have a discussion in the podcast. So it is a pleasure to be part of this podcast itself. And I think it's kind of like a opportunity for us to talk about what we have done in country, what are the things that we are looking at as well. I hope that these kind of things could give some more information about what we are doing in our context. Talking about the National Federation of Deaf Nepal, it's a federation of deaf people in country. So it is established in 1995. And from 1995, it is continuously working to provide service and to work on the rights of people of deafness, particularly in the beginning. And from 2015, actually, we started working in deafblind sector because one of the volunteer who came from Canada talked about the deaf blindness in the deaf community. We were not that much aware about that before. So she talked about the deaf blindness in the deaf community. That's how we get engaged in this deafblind community. And from 2017, we started working with Sense with a very small pilot project in 2017 to 2019. And that's our journey we take forward in the deaf blindness. Actually, from 2017, we work with other partners like STBP, like Society of Deafblind Parents, Deafblind Association Nepal, and also Nepal Association Blind. And we developed some projects. We work together as a consortium. So we try to create that kind of synergy in our work because there are many stakeholders in deaf blindness, we realize, and we need to have them in one place to discuss, to take the discussion ahead, take the movement ahead.
That sounds fantastic, especially with all the partnerships that you've built up over that time. I can definitely hear some of the names coming out there, and I'd like to ask, what's the mission behind what your organisation does? Can you tell us a bit about that?
For Deaf Federation is all about working for the rights, promotion of rights of deaf people in the country. And then one of the things that we have in our constitution is to work on deaf blindness and children with complex disabilities. So our mission is like when we started working in deaf blindness, one of the concepts is that we need to create a synergy amongst the stakeholders because deaf blindness at the time was not that much recognized. In our law, it was recognized, but again, there is very little work ongoing. So our first mission, like our target is to create more awareness on deaf blindness and have the synergy amongst the partners who are doing a bit of work in deaf blindness in separate way. Like Nepal Association Blind, they used to have their program, small program, deaf blindness, that send someone to India to learn about deaf blindness. And then Society of Deafblind was established 2005, I think, but there was kind of like pause in their activities. They were not active when we started to work. So they have some previous work. And like Deafblind Association Nepal, so adults with deafblind, they were having their own organization. As a Deaf Federation, we are working on as well. So our mission is to create that kind of synergy. We discuss about formation of National Resource Center on Deafblindness, That's the concept, to bring all the stakeholders in one place, discuss about the issue, talk about how we move ahead with the deafblindness, and every discussion we talk about mutual partnership, having all the partners working together, and then kind of like supporting the goal for recognizing deafblindness in education, in health, in employment, and they're kind of like improving in their life. I would like living condition, I would say.
That's very important, isn't it? The key word you mentioned there is synergy between these organizations, so that you can amplify the voices of the people that you support, isn't it? So that they come together in numbers, which is really admirable work. And I wanted to ask about your background with people in deafblindness in your experience. Tell us a bit about your experiences with people with deafblindness, and how did you come to get into this work?
Yeah, I think synergy is quite important in this field, because it's deafblindness is quite unique, and then sometimes having a kind of like just joint work give more like kind of like emphasis as well in the policy level and the programming level. Coming to my background, actually, I work as a sign language interpreter in National Federation of Deaf Nepal. So sign language interpreting is my background. So I used to work with deaf community providing interpreting service. Then when we started working with the deafblind community, so there were very few interpreters who can interpret in tactile sign language and other form of communication. So I went to kind of some trainings, and then learned about deafblindness and learned about different mode of communication, alternative mode of communications. From there, I started my work, and then so when we had a project on deafblindness from one of the Danish organization, actually back in 2015. So we were doing some data collection work, and then the federation said that we need someone who have more understanding on deafblindness and more understanding in communication and other aspect of deafblindness. So that's how I joined in this area. And from 2016, actually, I started working on deafblindness particularly. So up from that point, I continuously working on deafblindness as a deaf federation, because talking about organization background, actually, the federation works on development and sign language, and one of the kind of like pressing agenda was like we need to work on developing tactile form of communication, and those tactile form of communication are majorly based on sign language, and the number of deafblind community from the deaf community is quite high compared to blindness as well. So we look at deafness in Nepal, the number of people who use sign language, the number of people who need kind of like tactile sign language or other form of communication linked with sign language is quite high. So as an organization, NDFN started working on that and developing kind of like alternative mode of communication, like haptic signal, like tactile sign language, and then providing training to the interpreters in tactile sign language and other form of communication. Actually, this is how we were linked in with the deafblind community and the deafblind movement.
And I'm definitely hearing it coming through in your voice and your knowledge and confidence in what you're talking about here for the communication, and particularly around communication methods. And it seems to me that that's very, very empowering for the people you support who may not necessarily have been, know about the different communication methods. Would you say that's one of the reasons why you got into this work? Would you say?
Yeah, definitely. I think this is one of the major reasons, because that fascinated the different mode of communication that I look at when I met some of the deafblind community from abroad. That brings us that we need to work on that particular area. That's how I got engaged in this community, and then working in deafblindness, I realized that we have very less human resources and very less work have been done in this area. Like we don't have any school accepting deafblind children. We have the identification is quite challenging when we started, and then the organization development OPD, Organization of Persons with Disabilities, like their own organization was in the beginning stage. I think these are the area that fascinate me to work in this area, and we see at this as kind of like, because this community is very at the they are the most marginalized one. They are kind of like not in this development, like inclusive development system at all. So these are things that fascinate us, in me particularly, to work in deaf blindness.
That's fantastic to hear. That's so fantastic. And we're very lucky to have on the call today Lakpa, and he will be talking to us shortly about his experiences and also about his experiences with connecting with you for his sunshine. And I just wanted to put a final question to you about how have you supported Lakpa and Shine through the work that you do?
Actually, so when we started in 2017 in a very small project, so at the time we came to know about Lakpa and his son actually. So back in 2005, somewhere there was a school run by a project in Kathmandu. It was closed then, and then there were parents. Some of the parents were there. They were having kind of like group, but they were not that much in like collaboration or running their programs. Then I came to know about Lakpa. We had a meeting with him, and uh, we started to discuss about how we can take this movement ahead. And we need some strong people, some strong leadership as well, so that we have this agenda established, that the movement is strongly taken forward. Because from the very beginning in National Association of Deaf Blindness, we talk about and realized that we need to have people with deaf blindness and their parents leading these advocacy works, leading the work in Nepal in the movement. So we look at some of the people who could take us, like lead us in this process. So that's how we came to have more discussion with Lakpa, and we have a small daycare center at the time in Kathmandu, where we invite Lakpa as well, and he started to send his son sign to the center, and also we provided some home-based education support in 2017-18 around, and that's how we bring have a more coordination with him as well. True, I think, and he became kind of like in the board of Society of Deafblind Parents later on, and then later on he became the president. So this is how from the identification of sign, because we had some data in 2015 about some deafblind people, and sign was there in data. That's how we get to know about sign. And then 2017 we contacted Lakpa. That's how we get to know about him and his passion to work in this field. And then from 2018 or 19 around, I think he came to our daycare center, and then we provide some home-based education support. And now with the new school, he's a regular guy to the school, and we're continuously kind of like work. Our educators are continuously working with the children, and Sign is one of the children in the school who get the education. I think
Fantastic. That's
Lakpa will talk more about that later on, how he get engaged as well.
fantastic. Yes, we'd definitely like to hear. I'd like to bring you in now, Lakpa, and it's a privilege to have you here today. Thank you for being here. And yeah, follow on from what Sanu was talking about, and tell us about your experience of connecting with Sanu and the NDFN's work. Over to you.
Thank you, Adam, for your time and then inviting me to join this podcast. I'm very happy, and then Sense team, always thankful for Sense team because of the how much you work for the Nepali deafblind community in Nepal. So I really appreciate what you've done. So thank you again for that. So I'm Lakpa Sherpa and president of Society of Deafblind Parents, and I have a son. He's 17 now. He's a congenital deafblind, and I'm a national Disability National Steering Committee Vice President as well. So I'm very happy to be here today. So actually, when my son is around 8 years old, at that time he's in at home. At that time we don't have any school and anything, and then I don't know about anything about this organization too, because I'm a tourism sector, and then my business is in tourism Nepal, basically tourism in mountaineering. So I was working in that area. So when we have this Sense project, after that, this Federation of Deaf is called me for the meeting for a few times. At that time I'm quite busy to work with my tourism, and then I have to look after my son at my home, my wife and myself. Nobody else at home. I have just a small daughter. Now she's just 10. So I'm quite busy because my son is a bit more sensitive and he need 24-hour care. Someone must be need 24 hours with him while he's sleeping as well. So I'm not that much think about this organization and about this other disability, other deafblind. So the Federation of Deaf is contacted me a few times for the meeting, and then finally we got the meeting, and then we have a positive response. And then I joined in this organization, and I'm a fourth president of this organization. And now this is my second time. I'm a president of this organization. So now we have a government school. Before we have a daycare center, which is run by our organization. And after we advocacy with the government, because that is our plan to advocacy with the government, because in our constitution, in our disability policy and our rules, everywhere they said everybody have equal education for all, So we advocacy with the government. After a long time, after a few years, we get some government school resource class, and then now we have a government school. So inside the government school, we have a resource class. So that is a sort of inclusive education. So our children go to that school. Most of the children are go every day. Otherwise, some children come maybe 2 times in a week, 3 times in a week. It depends on the parents' time, because parents have to bring them to school in the morning time, and after evening time they have to take back to home, because we don't have any residential facilities for that kind of children. So a little bit challenging that part, but it's very good to work with the Sense and this deafblind program in Nepal. Yes, Adam.
That's so fantastic to hear that work, and coming from that situation where your son didn't, and yourself, they didn't have that connection to an organization which could actually help with communication needs, and also for your family as well, to you being the president. And that's absolutely fantastic. The president of the can I just double check, the Society of Deafblind Parents, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Society of Deafblind.
That's fantastic, and clearly that advocacy is something that Sanu was talking about earlier, is having that those people like yourself who have that direct connection with deafblindness and complex needs, and you can speak from experience, and that gives the most weight to that message, doesn't it? And getting it out there for people to really find out more, and hopefully that will connect with more families in Nepal across the country because of your advocacy work. And how is Shine getting on now? And how's he getting on? Tell us a bit about his progress.
Yeah, he's quite changed, but in the right now is he have a little bit of his behavior is a little bit changed. But before, when we have a start that school at that time is much more challenge. And then when he go to school, he start to do his sign language, tactile sign language. That is a big achievement for us, because before we didn't have that kind of knowledge about the tactile sign language. In between, he is independent basically at the home and then school. He go to the bathroom himself, and then he clean, and then he shower, and then he brush by himself, and then he eat by himself. When he is hungry, he come into the dining table. He's doing some sign for food if he hungry, or if he smells something good smell, then he came to the dining room, and then he's asking some food. And then if it's thirsty, then he came to the dining, and then he's asking water. So very good independent at that time. And then we are quite much happy. And then he normally he's staying at third floor, and then he came down to the ground floor and then play the swing, and then sometime open the gate and get out, go outside as well. So he's much more changed by himself. But in between, what happened is I went to the Morong, out of Kathmandu Valley. And I went there for the another opening for the research class for the other students, And then I have to stay there more than 5 days because I have to do everything there. And then when I came to home, his that habit is completely zero. He need someone 24 hours. He's not independent anymore. So that is another challenge because within 5 days he come to zero. So I realize this kind of people need all the time active for himself. At that time he sit in the backside, and then when we put his seat belt and he go to the school, nobody need any support. He just sit in the car and then he go to school, and then I drive the car. But now he need someone 24 hour after that 5 days. So now his behavior is a little bit changed than before, but now his develop is he's more socialized. When you go for the program, when you go to our cultural or religion, that kind of program, there is so many people. Before he's so much hyper, if he meets some new person or new some place, and he can't adjust there. He want to move from there, he want to go home, and then he needs just his parents, just father and mother. And now he can sit with other people, and then he can sit long time, like 4 5 hour continually, same hall, same program. So he enjoyed that a lot. And then he like to go to swim, and then he like to go to walk. And then that sort of big change, when he go to the school. After that big change, still we can't take him regular to the school because I already told, because not only me, for the all parents, because morning time we have to take him to the school, all day staying home, all day staying in the school with him, and then evening time back to home. So that's why that is big challenging still. We're doing, but that is we're facing that challenge. But let's see, we'll do something for that as well. Let's do something for positive. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And he sounds like he's getting the support and love from his family, from yourself, and also from the wider community, because you're talking about, so he does need that 24-hour support. And there are also those elements of independence that he's learned over time, which is actually wonderful to hear, that he can go out and make friends and socialize and be with other people into the wider community. And I think that's fantastic to hear through the support that you've given. That's absolutely brilliant. Thank you for telling us all about that. That's excellent. And what's Shine's favourite thing to do? Does he have a hobby or something that really excites him and makes him happy? What's his favourite thing to do?
Yeah, he's like to walk a lot. If we take him walk all day, he can walk. He enjoy that. And then other thing is he like to go to swim. He love that water. He want to stay in the swimming pool all day. And then he like to eat new food as well. Now he can swim, but he can eat soft food. Basically this kind of who is basically it's congenital deafblind, and then he's a profound deafblind, and that kind of children, they can't swing, and that is our big challenging. So we give all the time therapies. Now he's little bit started swing, like some biscuit and some kind of that's like chips. He can swing. That is just start. But that is his favorite. He like to go to new place all the time, new place and meeting other new people. When he's shaking his hand, and then after that he smell. Second hand, if there are new people, and then he definitely straight away he's going to smell, and then like that. That is his favorite part.
Fantastic. Just getting to meet new people. And you mentioned swimming as well, didn't you? So he likes to get in the water. So he's a man after my own heart. I love my element is water. I absolutely love it, and I'm never happier than when it's raining or when I'm in water. So that's fantastic, and it's good to hear that he has his means of meeting people through smell and through the sense of smell. And that's absolutely wonderful. Fantastic. So what I'm going to do now is to just bring the podcast to a close, and I just want to ask a question from both of you. In, say, the last 5 years, is there a moment for you, Lakpa, that stood out to you, that really brought you joy? Something that happened? Is there anything that you can think of?
Look, in that so many things happening, but one thing is when I see the parents and then children when they come to the school, and then when we provide them facilities, and then when their children is bit changer, the life change, before when they're at home and their behavior, and then when they that children come to school and their behavior, that amazing that parents touch their feelings, that is, they are remarkable, so we have more than 4 children. They become deaf blind to deaf, only blind. So that is a big achievement for us. They can, before, when we find them, at that time they are deaf blind, but when they regular come to school around 4 years after, they start to hear. So now they go to the blind school. So when we see their face and their parents' face, they are can't express.
That's absolutely fantastic, and I can see by the smile on your face that it's a real moment of positive pleasure where you're able to empower the young people and their families to come together and communicate together, and that's absolutely wonderful. And Sanu, and for you, is there a particular moment in the last 5 years or so that stands out for you?
Definitely, actually, in the last 5 years, we have seen a lot of changes in the context of deaf blindness in Nepal. So the most amazing thing that we have done, I think, with our collaborative effort, is that we have 6 resource centers all across Nepal for children with deaf blindness and complex disabilities. So we have been providing support to 209 around children at this point, with majority going to school in a government school. So like 145 children going to school. That's a big achievement in the last 5 years we have achieved. So one of the things that amazed me, that I'm very happy, is that when I see the children who are in the home doing nothing, going to school, started to learn. So we have seen many children actually now who is going to school, started to learn and started to enjoy the education, and the joy of like seeing their life changes from nothing, like doing nothing in the one part of the home, exploring the world with education. So that's something I would say. And definitely I just want to add one other one, that we have been working with the Parent Association and the Adult Association. So we have we have been supporting them, and there are 3 parent association in country now, one in Rupandehi, one in Morang, and then we have the Deafblind Association in Nepal. They're spreading themselves as well in 3 other part of the city. So so our goal is that to have kind of like one there, the Federation of Deafblind people. And then we are gradually moving on that steps as well. So I think those are things that make us kind of like joy, that give us joy when we're looking at our 5 years journey back, like 2020, 2017, when we started with Sense. There's almost nothing. Then coming to 2024, 25, we see that journey, and then I think there's some certainly a kind of like moment of happiness that we can share.
Amazing. That's absolutely wonderful. And I'd just like to say again, thank you to you both very much for your time today, and to come and talk to us about the support and the work that you do and your connections to the deaf, blind and complex needs disabilities communities. Absolutely amazing. And just thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, Adam and Ash as well, for this lovely opportunity. And we're very grateful that we get this opportunity to talk about our experiences, talk about what we've been doing in country. And thank you, Lakpa, for his time. Because
Thank you so much, very much. Thanks.
Thank you.
That was a really inspiring conversation with Sanu and Lakpa. I particularly enjoyed hearing about their missions to engage with policymakers in Nepal to really drive forward disability inclusion. And it was great to hear that Lakpa's son Shine is doing so well and really enjoying his hobbies. We'll have more episodes coming up soon, when you'll hear more stories from Sense International's work across the globe. Thank you so much for listening.